Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and this is my Divine Awakening series, and this will be episode 10 now. And I'm so excited for this conversation. This another beautiful soul sister that I have. Well, it's aligned that we come together, who I resonate so deeply with her journey and her transformation, as she has really gone through many changes in her life, and that has led her to transforming her health and wellness and really adopts a healthy lifestyle, and is really sharing how she can her experience and how that is supporting others on their journey. And she's had amazing expansions in her consciousness. Has been a catalyst for her getting to know more of who she is and more of the divine, and her story is fascinating, so she'll explain more of that. And yeah, our intention is that you have some insights into this conversation, how you can make some changes in your own life. And yeah, so thank you, Roberta, for coming on my channel. And I just want to ask, how did this change in lifestyle come about? Was this due to you just looking at your own health and lifestyle, or was there a catalyst for that?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor being here. So yeah, I'll start a little bit from beginning. So all started actually, I believe, is when I got pregnant with my child, who is 10 now. And he came to this earth, to this world early. He was premature baby. And then after that, I keep the story very short because it would be really long. After that, after giving birth, I started to experience epileptic fits. And that was very, very horrible for me. And it made me very anxious and depressed. And so I was drowning like little by little because I was nursing him. I was very anxious. My husband was going to work. And I was drowning little by little into more depression and anxiety. And I started to look into my health, because going to doctors just was leading nowhere. It was pills after pills, pills after pills, and they just didn't do much. And I was like, there was a kind of a break point when I said, okay, I have to do it myself because nothing's going to change. I just have to research and do stuff by myself. So I started to look into all kind of holistic approaches, whatever is there, like homeopathy, Reiki, everything I could just put my hands on or find. I was like, I have to try it. So I just kept trying. Like, I would never give up, because I was there. I wanted to be there for my son and for my husband, for my family. That was my drive, really. And then when my son started to eat solid foods, he was really liking fruit and vegetables, right? And he really would push away like meat. He was like all, in the beginning especially, was banana, And people were telling me like, he's eating so much bananas, like he's eating something else, like he must be loaded on potassium. Is it good for him, And I kind of intuitively thought, okay, he likes bananas. I'll just give him bananas. He can eat as much as he wants, these bananas. And so I started to look into plant-based or vegan lifestyle, just because of my son. I think he's kind of triggered it. And I think he's this kind of a new soul that came to this planet to, appraise the vibration. So I really believe he was the first thing that he led me, really. And I realized how we need to learn from children, because they're so innocent, they're so connected, And so I let him do his thing. And then I started to research, and then I seen lots of good studies, and I started to see people who were eating vegan at the beginning, plant-based, and then raw vegans. And I started to just try it for myself. But also, I've seen when I was a mom, and I'm still a mom, when I was breastfeeding my baby, right? And I was very emotional, and on Facebook, and I was just scrolling on Facebook like a zombie when he was very little. And I've seen this video. This video popped up about the cow and how a farmer was taking her calf away, and he just dunked that calf into the truck like he's a thing. That calf is like not a live animal. He just dunked it, and this cow was like running after the truck and like literally crying. And I was breastfeeding my baby and I started to crying. Like I started to cry and I was like, oh my God, this is so horrible. And before that, when I used to go and buy milk, I would never think this is how milk is happening. Like you just don't have that connection. I was even thinking that cows give milk all the time. Believe it or not, I was not making that connection that it's a mom and she needs to have a baby to actually make milk until I became mom. And I was like, wow, this is just so profound. And then after that video, I started to research documentaries and I've seen Earthlings. And after that, I just cried through the movie and I said to myself, I'm never gonna touch any animal products. And they're sentient beings and what's happening to them. It's not just about my own health, but it's about goodness for all, not just humans, but all the beings on this planet. And I said to my husband when he came home, I said, look, I've seen this movie, I can't unsee it. Everything changed now for me and I'm going a different way. And I said, if you don't want to come with me, then you will need to do your own food because I'm never going to touch anything from animals again. And so it was very easy to switch. It was like overnight awakening. And then I said to my husband, you have to watch this movie. Like, you have to. So he watched it too and he cried. And he said, okay, you know what? This is eye-opening. I cannot do it anymore. And I think from there, our consciousness was just, opening up more and more and more. So yeah, I think all this experience was just like a little train that was just going, going, going. And then it led me into my spiritual awakening at the end.
Oh my God. Once you see something and you watch something like Cowspiracy or Earthlings or those documentaries that have been out on Netflix, it's really hard to not to ignore it. And the timing that came up when you're breastfeeding, and it's like things will come to us when we're ready to receive it. Because if that had come maybe before you had your child, maybe you just clicked off, it goes, I don't want to know. Because ignorance is bliss, isn't it? And a lot of people's like, oh yeah, we don't need to worry about that. And my daughter said the other day, she's like, oh, my dad was eating chicken for his dinner because she's vegan with me, but she's vegetarian with the dad, but he does eat meat. And she said, oh, and he had pork as well. She said, that's a pig. And he went, oh yeah, it's all right. And it was like, and it doesn't matter, does it? So it's once you really know what goes on behind the scenes with the calf and the milk, you can't undo that. And so it's like you have to make the choices, but you have to be ready for it as well. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. Because I remember that when I was younger in my 20s, I've seen some pictures of pigs farming and stuff, but it didn't affect me. I was just scroll it around like, okay, it's horrible, but I don't want to see it, and I'm just gonna continue eating meat. So you're right. I think everything comes in the right timing, the way it has to come and the way it has to be. You need to be in that place, really ready for a change.
Yeah. And sometimes, we have to make these changes because of ill health, or we get to a point where, we're so there's it's like things happen in life where we get so ill, we have to make the changes, but we don't need to get to that point where our health is deteriorating. And it doesn't happen like that for everybody. I mean, I wasn't ill for my transformation, but for others, it gets to that point. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. And so you've been on this huge transformation. Now your husband is joining you on this as well. And what did you notice the difference when you did switch to go into plant-based from the meat? What were the key things you kind of noticed?
Oh, it's all mostly kind of emotional, mental, and spiritual a lot. Yeah, I've noticed so much connection, like to everything, even to the earth. If I would see rubbish on the earth, it makes me sad, as if this earth is alive and we don't respect it. And just so much love for animals, even not just even animals, but even the trees. I feel a really connection to the trees and like all the green. And if my son sometimes goes and he wants to pick up like some stick from the tree, I would say, you're hurting the tree. You don't have to pick up, like, don't break the stick from the tree. Just pick it up from the ground, stuff like this. And I feel so much more connection to all the humanity, to all people. Especially now, like I stopped judging people as much. Sometimes as a human, I would judge someone, but I would straight away catch myself and say, no, we're all connected. This human is actually a part of me. So I would send them love. So yeah, just so much more uplifting, so much more loving, and just so much more positive, even in the dark times.
Yeah, definitely. And your son is he's vegan as well, and you all are as a family?
Yeah, he's been vegan since he was 1.5. When I started to seeing him to eat so much fruit, and then I straight away saw the video, and then I saw the earthlings, and I just said, okay, he likes the fruit, he likes the vegetables, let him eat that. At the beginning, like I had fear coming in because I didn't know much about diet, and there would be so much conflicting information. You have to give child meat, he's gonna be deficient in protein, which is crazy now, what I think, or like this vitamin D and B12. So yes, fear would creep in because there's so much information as a mom. Sometimes like, oh, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? But I would always answers would pop up, and I would say, okay, this is just fear talking. It's right path for us because it's just happened to.
Yeah, exactly. And we get influenced by outside people, and their opinions of what is the right diet and how we should be and how we should feed our children. And it's like, as a mum, you intuitively know what's right. And kids are so intuitive, like they haven't got all of the programming. Like he was going for the fruit because it's from Mother Earth. It's natural, it's instinctive, rather than to go for flesh that's dead. That he wants to live in food. And so kids will always, you put that in front of a fruit or meat, and most of them are going to go to the fruit, aren't they? Because that is the natural way. And so yeah, that's brilliant. And the whole thing around was drinking milk from a cow, it was never for us, was it? It's just, and so many people have got tolerances to dairy, and they can't really pinpoint that it is the dairy, but when they get to it, like, oh my God, I didn't realize. So yeah, amazing. And so obviously your divine awakenings, and there's not just, many people can have a build of awakenings or spiritual awakenings, or they can have a huge catalyst. What happened with yours? What was your lead up to it?
So I was really struggling still with my health, and then I was really in pain with like severe migraine, and I was just crying in the bed, and I said, you know what, God, or take me now, or you show me the way, because seriously, I'm just so tired and I can't do this all the time. I can't take this pain. So I was like this. And then when my husband came to the room, I was crying, he was cuddling me. And I said to him, like, I'm searching for these answers myself, but I feel like I need a teacher. Maybe I need a teacher, like someone who has more experience. And then it was really like synchronicities, like what started to happen when I said I need a teacher. Then I suddenly connected with my classmate that I haven't seen or spoke since we finished high school. So since 18, I'm 43 now. So long time ago we didn't speak. So I connected with him, and he told me that he's been going to a spiritual school, and he's been following this channeler woman who was channeling from a higher realms information. And he says, like, I can introduce you and maybe she can help you, or maybe you could join our spiritual kind of school. So I said, okay. That was very interesting because I was looking for a teacher, and suddenly he's talking about it. So for me, it's like, okay, this is perhaps meant to be. So I'm just gonna go and check it out. So I joined that spiritual kind of group, or say a school. They call it a school, but it was just online meditations. We would do online meditations together in a group of lots of people, and then she would be channeling some information for us, or for humanity, or for the future of the earth. And then soon after, I've decided that I want to do watermelon cleanse. You know, it was summer and we had these huge watermelons. So I was still in this group. I was still meditating with them twice a week. And then I was going on the watermelon cleanse. So I was eating lots of watermelon. And suddenly things started to happen. So I was just on watermelon and distilled water. And I realized that I'm very, very sensitive person and things are happening to me very fast and very intense. Whatever I try is just poof. And then lots of different things started to happen and it lasted for quite good weeks. At the end, I stopped wanting to eat watermelon and I just went into water like naturally. I didn't really struggle. It just happened so naturally that I stopped wanting food. And I think it was meant to be for me. And I had these revelations. So I had first experience was I had in my dream out of body experience where I left my body and I realized that I was not my body, but I really freaked out. Like I freaked out so much. And I said, I want to go back in my body. And at that instant, when I had fear, I was back in my body. And I was like, I woke up and my heart was pounding. And I was like, whoa, this is just crazy. What's happening? And then second day, I had the experience of oneness. And I was like, I came out of the garden and literally, I think it's hard to describe. Everything was shimmering. Like the sounds were so intense. Like I could hear the butterfly flapping his wings. And the colors were like crazy, not the way you see it. And I was just in awe, like so amazed. And I was telling my husband, you know, I feel like this. And I think my husband, because he wasn't in that place with me, I think it was really strange for him. And he was starting a bit freaking out because he could see that I'm all high on something, but I didn't take anything. And then the third day, I had a feeling of unconditional love. And I was just pouring, crying, and I was just sitting, doing nothing. I was just sitting in such a moment. And all I could say, God loves me. My God, I'm so loved. I cannot imagine such love exists. I was just in so awe, like, wow, and just crying from just gratitude of being alive and feeling that love. And I remember thinking, is this gonna stay with me forever now? Is this gonna be my life? Am I gonna be in this feeling of such love? This is amazing, you know, so like euphoric, uplifting. And I was saying to my husband, we're so blessed. And he was looking at me like with this crazy look. I said, you cannot imagine how blessed we are. This is amazing. And I really started to like myself. I looked in the mirror and I looked to myself in totally different eyes. I was just looking and I was amazed in my body. It's like, wow, I'm so beautiful, but not in the vain way, but this body is such a miracle. I'm so beautiful because before that, I was really critical of myself and I was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. My eyes are too big. My hair is not thick enough. I'm too fat and all this. But that just vanished and I could just see that I'm perfect. You know, this body is perfect. It's a gift. And now when I remember it, it's just like it's so incredible. And then and this love feeling is lasted for a while for me, some weeks, months, but I could feel it started to reduce itself, you know, in time, this like unconditional love. But obviously I know it's there, I know it exists. Now I'm back in a bit not as high vibration, even though I really would like to be there. And it was a little bit hard at the beginning when it's just, you know, gradually went away. I was like, why? Why is it going away? I want to stay there forever. But so, yeah. And the fear disappeared completely. Like the fear of death, it was gone. I could have just left the planet at there, you know. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not scared anymore. I'm ready. I can go. But then I was thinking, I have a son and I have a husband. Like, it's not my time. Perhaps I can't go. Yeah. And after that, even I have hard time as all people we have hard times from time to time. It's not like all roses and rainbows, unfortunately, in this planet. But I never got ever depressed. Like I would always go back to the memories and to knowing that it's temporary in here. I would just remind myself it's temporary, and I would remember the unconditional love, and that I perhaps have some stuff to do here still, which I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm to do. So yeah, that's my experience in a nutshell, not going into every small detail.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's just like so much there, isn't there, to unpack? Like, so you had like there was like three awakenings really in a short space of time, like um when you was talking about the unconditional love that you experienced, I was really getting emotional. I'm very sensitive as well. And I was really, really feeling that. And I've woke my kundalini and that experience of that love. And when it goes away, you're like, oh yeah, so I know what that feels like. And it's like you're back to reality. And it's like, I don't want to be here. And then the mind tries to get you back to where you are. And so how long was you doing the watermelon for before you naturally transitioned into water?
It's all now a blur, but I don't know. It
Mm.
wasn't watermelon. I actually decided we were going on a holiday to Sweden. And I said to my husband, we're gonna go like in very chilled, beautiful house, like between the pine trees and it's like surrounded by nature. And I said, why don't we do a bit of cleanse of raw food? So it was at the beginning of summer, so we started to eat lots of raw foods and salads and lots of fruit every day, but not just watermelon, like everything we could find there. It was a strawberry season in Sweden, and strawberries were really tasty, so we ate lots of that. And then when we came back from that holiday, I said, I'm just gonna eat watermelon for a bit. And so yeah, so it wasn't, but when I started to eat watermelon and drink lots of distilled water, that was just like very speedy awakening, or say the change in my being.
You cleansed your body, and when you cleanse your body, you're making room for the spirit, the divine to come through. And you were gifted that beautiful experience to share that with other people, and what a beautiful gift. And how has your health been after you had that, like your migraines? Have you experienced that since?
Yes, I did. I was really thinking that's it, I'm healed. I'm gonna be cured now. But they were still there.
Mm. Were
So
they
yeah,
there as severe as before, or was there a slight change in the severity of them?
it was the same.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So I just knew that I have to keep going and keep cleansing myself.
Mm,
And but I wasn't as bad emotionally anymore,
yeah.
because before I was really like low and down and just tired. I would be like, I would experience the pain, and I was knowing that it's not gonna last forever. I would like pray a lot, and there was times where I would go meditate and it would go away. Like I would literally could do with my mind, but not all the time. Maybe I couldn't concentrate. I really don't know. I'm a
Mm,
human. I'm still trying to figure out things.
mm,
I'm not all knowing, but there would be times where I could really do it with my mind. Like
yeah.
it would come on at night and I would just pray so much, and I would say, I want it gone. I would say like stop now. And quite a few times it would just go away.
Yeah. So it allowed you to manage it better, and not fall into that depression of victim, like, oh, why is this happening to me kind of energy. You was able to just observe it and just allow it to be there and do practices like meditation or praying, where before you might have spiraled into the depression, would you say?
Hmm. And also after the migraine would pass, I would feel lots of gratitude. I would come outside and it would make me very grateful to be not in pain, where before I didn't care. But after the pain, when I was not in the pain anymore, I would just appreciate and be so grateful for just being not in pain.
Oh yeah, beautiful. This is where there's always a lesson in everything, right? And so I love that. And this, I really want to get deeper into, this oneness that you felt. Like, what did that, obviously you could hear the differences in the uniqueness of like a butterfly and the flaps of the wings and the colors. Like, did you just know, like, instinctively, and knowing that we are all one and connected? How did you know that? What was that like?
You can't describe it. It's not knowing, it's a feeling. It's really a feeling. Like I just felt so connected. And then I felt like I could be like connected to every person in this planet, even my parents who passed, even my cats who were not there with me anymore. And how it described to my husband, like, movie, what is it called? Mutants, the sci-fi movie, right? And the professor, when he sits and he put the helmet on, and then he can connect to every person. So I felt exactly like this, like,
Oh, X-Men, yeah.
this is X-Men, yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is wow, amazing. But yeah, it was really beautiful to start with. When I just woke up and I knew I'm everything. It's something, you can't explain it really. It's a feeling, like, I just knew I'm everything. The feeling was like, I'm just everything, the trees, the animals, everything was there. I'm that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
And that out of body experience that you had, could you see your body? Like when you were out of your body, you could
Yes.
see your own body and see the room. And
I had two actually, and in the first one, when I seen myself lying on the floor, my body, and I was standing, because before that I was really, really scared of death. That was one of my biggest fears. I think lots of people are scared of death, or the fear that people have are actually, if you dig, it all comes back to the fear of death. And when I was standing, I just, like, when my body fell down, I was standing outside the body, and there was someone just here next to my shoulder that I couldn't see, but I know they're there. And they were like saying to me, now look into your body. And they were saying to me that when you die, that's how it's gonna happen. You're just gonna, in a second, come out of your body, and that's it. It's not scary, it's nothing to be scared. But as I say, I never experienced that before, and I did freak out. And then the other time, I went floating at the ceiling, and I freaked out again. So yeah, I think there is a still strong attachment to my body a lot. I'm still learning. I think it's just a lifelong journey. Everybody's learning different things and have different fears and stuff.
oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, just the concept of understanding we are not our body, we are not our thoughts, is just kind of mind blowing for a lot of people to really wrap their head around. Like, what do you mean I'm not my body and not my thoughts? But we really aren't. We really are not. And yeah, we do have attachment to our body because, yeah, this is just what we think of this separation, right? And we don't really see ourselves first and foremost as a spiritual being having a human experience. But it very much is the case, and I always envision, like, and when I'm explaining to people, like, think of Avatar, the film Avatar, and that's kind of like, that connection where that comes into the body. So yeah, brilliant. It's and so you having that experience and changing, one of the main fears you had was around death is just gone. You don't fear it at all now.
I do still fear it.
Okay.
Yes, it came back. So it was when I had my experience, right? And I had my out of body experience. And then when I felt the oneness, unconditional love, and it was lasting, but gradually like leaving, and I was coming back to this world to, how it is in here, the fears came back, but I can deal with them so much better now. Like if I'm scared, lots of times I would say, you know what, everything is temporary. I'll have to leave this earth, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. I could calm myself down. And I was really thinking, like, because after these experiences, I had to now research to understand what's happening to me, because I didn't know anything. Like I never watched any NDEs before, or like any videos about spiritual awakenings, like I didn't know, and it was like so much to take. So I started to research a lot on YouTube, going like people experience spiritual awakening, what's happening to them, what's happened to them. And then I came across on NDE, people who, you know, near death experiences. And I started to watch these videos and I was like amazed. My mind was blown away because what they described was exactly what I experienced, except I didn't really die. I mean, you know, my heart didn't stop and I didn't have some massive accident like lots of people did. So it wasn't like that. So yeah, I started to watch it, and lots of them would say, you know what, I don't have fear of death at all. Like, I'm not scared. But then I was thinking, why still I have that? Why it came back, you know? Like, I don't want to feel that, even though it's so much better, but I think I still have to work towards it.
Yeah.
But there was one man, he was telling his story with near-death experience, and he did die in a massive, horrible accident, car crash. And when he awakened, like when he came back and he got healed in the hospital, his fear of death came back as well. And then for me, it was okay. So I'm not alone. You know, there's others. So this can happen. We're all different, and we, you know, have to do different things, learn different things, different lessons, let go of different things. So I think for everyone is different.
And it might have been you had that experience, that snippet to show you that, you know, death actually isn't real and that you have to work through that as a human. And that is your lesson to do that now. And we, like I say, we've all, like you say, we've got, all of us have got different karmic lessons with karmic contracts that we came in, ancestral patterns that we bring in. And so we're all on our own journey, on our own path, basically, to navigating through that and healing through that. And so now you've been focusing on your health and lifestyle, and you know, we're human, we have moments, and we did speak before where, you know, sometimes we have these days where just the energies are really high. There's solar flares, there's planetary alignments that are going off that are impacting us individually, and you know, emotional things are happening, we're getting triggered. So we might go for, you know, the sourdough bread, which is an Achilles heel of mine and yours, or chips, you know, and we're not perfect, but we always try our best, and we always go back to our default, which is healthy, because we've kind of programmed that. But we have off days, and since you've done that, is your health improved, your migraines, just your fatigue? Do you still experience any of those right now, or you're still navigating through that healing journey?
Well, my migraines improved so much, a lot actually, that I don't experience as much, because before that it would be like half of my month gone. You know, like if the months have 4 weeks, half of my month I would be in pain, like in general. So it was really frequent and a lot. And now it's so much better. And I actually, what really helped me is hydrogen water. Because I drank distilled water for a really long time, just, you know, like experimenting. I haven't drank tap water even before my awakening. I just stopped drinking it, and then it was just smell of chlorine was like, oh, I don't want to touch it. It just tastes bad. Something's wrong with it. So I tried different waters, reverse osmosis, different than other filters, and then I came across to distilled water, and I drank it for I think 2 years. And then I came across to hydrogen water, but I didn't think much of it, because so far none of these waters made a big difference for me. Like, I mean, in the pain and like with my migraines that I had. But when I started drinking hydrogen water, wow, that really changed for me, really. So I started drinking it last year in September, and in a couple of months, but I was together with a healthy diet, not like just drinking water and eating chips, you know. I was still eating like as much raw as possible, fruit and stuff like this. And I started drinking hydrogen water together with that, and it made such a difference. Wow. And I realized, you know, we're all made of water, and hydrogen is, to be said, is the first element to come into existence. And I think it's the most abundant element. I'm not sure, but I think in the universe. So yeah, I started to really like look into it, and it really helped me. So now migraines are very rare, and I notice it's a lot to do with stress as well. When I stress or sleep bad, which as a human, this happens to me, and then it would be worse for me, but so much better and so less. So I'm eating healthy, drinking lots of water, and I started to do enemas, coffee enemas, and that helped me a lot with migraines so much. So I really believe in enemas, especially for people who are suffering, and struggling a lot with health, especially migraines.
Mm.
I would do enemas for sure.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, enemies is not something I've ever done actually. I do a lot of fasting. I support people in fasting groups and water fasting, but I've never gone down that route. But yeah, I know they are really effective for a lot of people. So would you say you were spiritual before, or even had a concept of spirituality, and was, because I thought I was spiritual and followed spirituality, but it was all conceptual. It wasn't like embodied within me before COVID. Would you say you had, because I thought, oh, I do meditation here and there. Would you say there was any elements in your life that was spiritual, or you followed that before the spiritual awakening?
Yes, it's not like I followed. I always was looking for something more, just
Yeah.
looking. It was something missing. There was a hole, and I was looking for what is that hole? How can I fill that hole? And so I was looking everywhere. Like I read Gita, I read Quran, I was reading Bible, and I was trying to find God in religions. Like I would even be in bed, like reading Bible as a researcher, and I was saying like, which path is true? Like where would I go? Like. And then there would be times in life that I would be so low that I would just drink because I would be tired. I would feel so low, lost, and just really a hole in me, like I would say a hole in my heart that wasn't filled. And there was no like self love. I know why I was missing self love. And yeah, so I kept looking all the time. And even when I got like depressed and unwell with the epilepsy and stuff, I was still trying to do like yoga, Kundalini yoga, as I say, going to Reiki. But yeah, it was still heavy all the time. But I'd never stop because, or you go down or you're trying to go up. There's two ways.
Mm. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I had family and I just had to keep looking and asking and yeah, so I believe, yes, it's always been like this. Since
Mm.
I was little, actually, when I was little, I had this dream of, say, Jesus. People call him Yeshua. I had a dream, and it was really, really intense when I woke up because the dream was like this. It was more like not a dream, but revelation because normal dream and these kind of dreams are so different. And I was small. I was maybe 6 years old, and it was all dark. And he appeared in the sky, like in bright, bright light. And he was telling me to always follow the good and not the bad. And when I woke up, I was crying so much. I was like in tears, even woken up, like just all crying. So I think it was happening from a small age, but then I would forget, because there was stuff I had not easy life as a kid as well. And I would be like, but I kept going back all the time, just looking for God, I would say. People call it God, people call it, love, whatever you call it. I call it God. That's for me is um, close to my heart. But it doesn't matter what you call it. It's all one anyways, the same thing, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, create a source, when you were talking about Yeshua, I'm not religious whatsoever, but Yeshua has really come strongly into my life recently, and it's helped me connect deeper to God. And it sounds like you're already on the path of seeking from such a young age. Same, it's this path of seeking, but then you get to a point where you realize what you're seeking is already you already it, right? And then you stop looking outside of yourself and you realize it's all an inward journey, and
Exactly.
you start questioning and looking at your belief systems and why you do things, and you start taking your life in your own hands. Like, you know, you're like, I'm not gonna go outside and try and, you know, the doctors who are giving me pills, just like, enough's enough. Like you did, you had to go on your own journey and go within. And so yeah, that's really beautiful. And so yeah, we're all on our path, aren't we, of like seeking outside of ourselves. But really, we just need to just know everything is within, and that God, whatever you want to call it, is here. And that's really helped me connect it deeper. And yeah, I love that. And so how is you changing your health and lifestyle? Because you talked about, you know, you were trying to understand what your kind of purpose is in this world and in this lifetime. And so how did that kind of transpire after, you know, changing your health and lifestyle, having your spiritual awakening? How did that kind of come about to what you're doing now, which is helping and inspiring so many?
I don't really know. It's just natural, I guess. I mean, I'm just being me and just sharing my journey. And I think, you know, if it can help someone or inspire someone, that's really great. And when I was looking at the time, I was like, after all the intense awakenings, I was starting to ask, like, to have a purpose. What am I here to do? You know, and I just couldn't understand what I'm here to do. And one day I said, I'm just gonna sit here and I'll ask, you know, and I just asked, so what am I here to do? And the answer came very fast. And I believe in first answer, that instant is the real truth. And it was only to love, to learn to love. That's it. It's that simple, to learn to love and grow in love. That's all. And just spread the love, you know, around, just radiate the love. It doesn't need to be all big, saving the world. You know, it's all about inner work, about you. So yeah, so I believe that. And I'm trying to do everything what I do from that energy of love.
Beautiful. That is what Yeshua was teaching me, how to open up my heart and how to come from a place of love. And it's yeah, that is we can be like, oh, this is my purpose, I need to do this and this. If you can just come into your heart, and more people that move out of their head into their heart can impact thousands and thousands of people who are not. And that in itself has a ripple effect in the collective consciousness. And obviously we're going through this huge great awakening right now where, you know, Mother Earth is raising her vibration, and she is a conscious being, and we're moving up with her. And so, you know, we're doing real like powerful work here where we're doing the work first to drop into our heart, and that can help others and help us shift out of this, you know, darkness that that has been kind of cast over the planet. And the, you know, the when there's more light, it will shine on the darkness, and that happens within ourselves, right, where it'll start to show where we're not loving ourselves and where we're critical. And so how has that helped you now? You've got this new awareness around self-love. What has that shown you within yourself? Are you still able to look at yourself and love yourself, or is that inner critic still back?
Oh no, that's just changed completely. I'm just so much more chilled. I used to be really obsessed about the looks and very self-conscious about my body. And I would hate my body, you know, especially after childbirth, because I had gained weight and I was, you know, chubbier and there was fat everywhere. And it's like, I don't like it. And I would do stuff like exercise, try to eat healthy, because I hated myself rather than I done it from love. And when I stopped, like when that shifted, I don't need to do anything. I just my weight is regulated to my weight that I was before I got pregnant. It just went back. My clothes size went back, and you know I became the same. That I like my body the way, but without an effort. It's just happened naturally, and it feels good. It feels good to be in this body, not in a vain way. You know, not show off. I don't really like I don't do things like, you know, wear tight things and go around like showing off my body, but just feels good in a healthy kind of way, you know. It feels good to not have, for me, that's my experience. So, yeah. Yeah, and I feel beautiful. And lots of time I look in the mirror and say, I'm so grateful. Everything is just, the body is beautiful and I'm very grateful for it. So yeah, that's changed a lot. I actually know, like, lots of things changed. Like, I have gray hair now, and before I would be like, oh my God, I have gray hair. This is embarrassing. I look like this. What people think about me? They look at me. It was that I need to dye my hair like all the time, or my roots are growing and stuff like this. And I used to be like, I can't go with joggers into the shop, like, oh, self-conscious, I can't go with joggers, I need to put jeans. And now I just don't care anymore because I just feel so relaxed, like, about my appearance. I'm just happy the way I am. I stopped being so self-conscious about what other people will think of me. So that's very nice, very nice. I love it. I love to be in this. And I used to be like scared that my husband will look at other women and find other women more pretty, like it's this kind of like fear and jealousy and insecurity. And now I'm just chilled, completely chilled. I just like myself the way I am. Simple.
Yeah. That's so beautiful, because this is where we have to really focus on ourselves, and when we can really come to a place of, you know, asking ourselves, these deeper questions like, where am I, why do I not love myself? What are the parts of me that I don't love, and why? And really start working on bringing back that love, because when you can really do that, everything changes. Absolutely everything changes in your life. You do things for you, not for the expectations of what society is wanting you to do. You don't go to the gym to get a result. You go to the gym because you want to feel strong for yourself. You want to be able to get up off a chair when you're 80. You're looking at the long term, not the short term. And you eat food because you want to get nourishment. It's a healthy relationship, not for the emotional side, which I'm still working through. I've emotional eating is something that is really started to be an area that I'm looking at, because alcohol and drugs and all of these things was a way to stop feeling. And when you stop those things, it can come into other forms, can't it, if you don't get to the root cause. And you was talking about alcohol before. Was alcohol something that was quite strong in your life prior to this, and was a crutch for you?
Well, I would say I was never addictive, but before I met my husband, I had like a very low time where I would be working in the office 5 days a week, and then the weekend I would be drinking just because I wasn't happy, just forget. And it became like, oh, I'll just drink to relax. Like, basically, I'll drink to forget that, I'm not happy in my life, just not happy. So that was there just to numb myself. And then my mom died as well when I was 27. So I started to like have a glass of wine just to be able to relax and be able to fall asleep, because that was very, very traumatic for me. But it's just, it wasn't an addiction, I would say. Not that strong that, I couldn't live without it. So I feel like I'm lucky and it's good. Smoking as well, like just smoking cigarettes was
Yeah.
that was an addiction. Every time stressed, just smoke, smoke, smoke.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I never would have classed myself as an alcoholic at all, or addicted. But when I started to look at it, it was like, actually, can I go? It made me uncomfortable to say, don't drink for a week. And I was like, okay, if that's uncomfortable, why is that uncomfortable for me? And yeah, I think even if we're having like one drink a night, there's still something, we're attached to it, aren't we? And so it shows itself in many different forms. And so eating healthy is like just part of your life now, and part of your family's life. And I'm really curious around what people kind of eat in a day. So what does like a day look like for you, at health, when you're obviously we have our days where, forgetting about them. But generally, what would you say a day in the life looks like for you?
Okay. So always intermittent fasting, but not on purpose and not like pushed. It just became like a kind of a habit, a routine that you would start eating maybe at 11 or 12 o'clock. Um, I would have juice, green juice, or any kind of juice a lot of the days, lemon water. And No, first thing in the morning, I drink hydrogen water all the time, like a clean hydrogen water, a glass. That's when I wake up just to rehydrate my body. Then I would have juice, lemon water, or both. Then we would be eating fruit. And recently, because my son really wanted some cooked food, so we'd have one cooked thing a day. And we've been doing now just organic boiled potatoes with raw kind of tomato sauce that I make with garlic and some basil. And we just pour that raw sauce on top because I had my teeth extracted just now, like my root canals, and I posted that on Facebook. So yeah, so it would be like this. We would have something, one cooked something, and it usually would be boiled or just baked in the oven, vegetables. And we stopped eating oil for a long time now. So you just, I couldn't imagine that you can bake something without oil. I was imagining I have to drizzle the oil on everything. But when you put like just sweet potato, mushrooms, like cauliflower, whatever you want, like a bouquet of vegetables, don't need any oil. You just put it like that and it just bakes. And then we would have a massive amount of salad with that. And then in the evening, we really like ice cream. We're ice cream people. So we have tons of bananas all the time. So they would ripen, and we have lots of frozen bananas in the freezer, and we just love ice cream. So that's our dessert, ice cream. And a few times when I go abroad on holidays, right? And okay, we'll have ice cream, not ice cream, but vegan, like sorbets and stuff. When I eat it, I realize ice cream is so much better. It's like but ice cream is so much better because they are so sweet because they would still add sugar and stuff. And ice cream is just that the balance of banana sweetness is so good. So this is our main thing. Lots of fruit, juice, lemon water, something one cooked with lots of different salad, like a mixture of, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and stuff like this. And then lots of ice cream.
Oh my God, I love ice cream. Like just having bananas in the freezer. Yeah, it's always good to have it, just to have that ice cream if you want it quickly. And I have all like ice cream, like lollies for my daughter when she wants it. So yeah, it's all ready to go. But yeah, I love that. And how many times have people said to you, where did you get your protein from? Do you experience that a lot?
Yes, a lot, a
What do
lot.
you say to
Like,
people?
so, but yeah, so you just explain to them that it's not a protein, it's amino acids. And recently, I was posting about things because it came to me like we are the only species. We're so intelligent, right? But we're the only species that don't know what to eat. We're so confused. Is it keto? Is it carnivore? Is it omnivore? Is it fruitarian? Is it vegetarian? Is it vegan? Is it plant-based? What is it we to eat? And everybody's just so confused. But every other animal, every other species, they just don't know what to eat. So I was like just talking to my husband, what's happened to us? How we got so lost?
Oh
We're
no.
so smart, right? And when you look into our whole digestive system, we don't have, massive canines where we could just rip the animal apart or claws. You just know, like scientifically, what is your trap made to digest. So
Yeah.
it's very simple actually, but yeah, we know that there is big industries and stuff that,
Yeah.
you know, and I know how it is, but I decided and kind of came to this not to judge any of these, whoever's doing this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, they doing it from fear, I believe. They are maybe, addicted to the money, to the, they need to have more, they cannot let go. And it's all comes to fear. So.
Yeah.
And if I do judge as a human, because I can get lost and get angry, when I see injustice or something like this, I always just step back and say, this is all temporary. It's lessons. They're learning, I'm learning, we're just learning in different stages, different paths. And they are a part of me. We're all one. And, I've been down and I've been searching and
Mhm.
yeah, but as a humans, I think, these emotions just we are humans. It's just a humanness.
Yeah,
We can only do
exactly.
our best.
Exactly. That's I always say. Always, if you, that's it. Just do your best. That's all you can ever do. And everybody's on their own journey. And even with my family and my dad, it's like I kind of find myself going to the rescuer mode, and it's like, oh, I want to try and help him and get this. I'm like, no, he's on his own journey. Yeah, I can suggest and go, have a look at this, and but they can choose what they want to do. It's their journey. It's their lessons, and I just have to stay on my lane. And the more we live in our truth and authenticity, then other people will start to see, oh, what are you doing? You're doing things differently. And they get curious. So yeah, no, that's beautiful. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your journey. It's been really inspiring, and I know it's going to help others definitely on their journey as well. And is there anything that you would like to share? Any parting words that you would like to share with anybody watching?
I just want to say if someone's struggling today, it's just I woke up and I just wanted to say if someone's struggling, I just want everyone to know that you're actually unconditionally loved, even if you don't feel it at the times, and everything shall pass. This is what helps me when I'm not well, or I'm down, or I'm low. I would just say to myself, it's gonna pass because it passed in the past, and then you're good again. It's gonna pass. Just, stay with it. It's gonna pass. And prayer always helps. Asking for help, start asking for help from above and see what's gonna happen. Just try, even if you're skeptical, try.
Yeah, prayer's been amazing since I've started to adopt that in my life the last few months, 100%, definitely. And if people want to connect with you, can they find you?
Well, they can find me on Facebook. I'm mostly on Facebook.
You're very good on Facebook. You share amazing stuff. You're very good on Facebook. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Well, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you everybody for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you all for joining, and have a blessed day, everybody.
Thank you.